What's going on, everyone? So Dan Hurley went on a bit of a press tour talking about the Lakers situation and how he turned down the job, and kind of highlighted and spoke on some of the points and narratives that are going around with the media. And to me, I feel like he just said a bunch of nothing, right? Like, look, I didn't think Dan Hurley was coming. I expressed that heavily in videos when we were talking about it, right? All the reasons I said he wouldn't come were all the reasons that he highlighted and Woj said, right? That, it's the legacy, it's the comfort, it's the lifestyle change going from Connecticut to Los Angeles. It's, you have to get a significant bag, right? Like, he has an opportunity to do something that hasn't been done since like the 60s or whatever, right? Like, it's just, there was so many options as to why he wouldn't come, right? Again, I said, make a list of the pros, make a list of the cons, and the cons for leaving are far greater than the reasons for going. Like, the only real reason for him to go would be financially, right? Like, as if the Lakers gave him a huge bag, right? And so Dan Hurley basically says, like, oh, it's not a leverage play. I already am comfortable. I already got the leverage. I'm two-time back-to-back NBA or national champion, right? Like, I don't need the Lakers for leverage and all that stuff. Well, it sure felt like a leverage play, right? And he talked about how, that he would have left if the money was right, if there was an actual, significant dollar amount that was paid. But he says himself he doesn't know what the amount is. Here's the frustrating part for me, okay? Again, if you don't want the job, that's fine. I didn't expect him to come. I don't care that he didn't come. It doesn't really bother me because I didn't expect it, right? But be honest is my point, right? Don't go up there and say it's not a leverage play. Yeah, of course, money does matter if there would have been a significant amount. Okay, and then say you don't know the amount, right? Isn't part of negotiating, right? Let's say I want to sell something for $20, right? I tell you 20, you come in at 10, I say I'll go to 18, you say you'll go to 12, and we meet in the middle at 15, right? Something like that, right? Like, that's usually how it goes. So the Lakers made an offer. If you viewed the Lakers job as a place you really wanted to go, and you really wanted to make the jump, and you really wanted to do all the things that you're up here saying you want to do, then you should have a dollar amount in your head. What is it? Is it $15 million a year? Is it $20 million a year? Is it $50 million a year? Right? Like, what is it? Because I'd rather him be like, yeah, like if they would have offered me 10 years, $200 million, I would have taken the job. Okay, well then now we would have known. Did you relay that to the Lakers? Did you tell them that? Right? Again, isn't part of negotiations going in? You're over here fluffing. Oh, Lakers had a great, interview. They did all this stuff. I was really impressed. Well, you weren't impressed enough to leave. Right? Like, and then you want to talk about how it's not a leverage play, but yet everything signals it being a leverage play. You talk about how you had leverage, which I do believe you had leverage to an extent, but you don't think that there was like even a Schmidt of, like, hey, like, Uconn wants to offer me X amount, right? Because there was a dollar amount on the table already, right? He was in negotiations. That's why the Lakers went and talked to him, because they found out that he was still in negotiations, and they were like, hey, maybe we could steal him from them. You don't think Dan Hurley mentioned that? You don't think Uconn had that in what if he takes the Lakers job, right? Like, of course, right? Like, maybe it wasn't like the full intent, like, oh, I'm only going to the Lakers job solely for leverage. I even said I didn't think that was the case. I thought he was genuinely interested in the Lakers job. I do. I think he was. But I think it would have taken something hugely significant to land Dan Hurley, and I just didn't think it made sense for the Lakers, right? Because let's say it is 17, 20 million, right? Whatever, right? The Lakers offer, which a lot of people are upset about, right? A lot of people are like, oh, they gave him a low ball offer. He would have been the 6th highest paid head coach in the league. For a guy that has never coached in the NBA, that history tells you college coaches do not translate to the NBA. I believe Dan Hurley would have been one of the outliers. I believe Dan Hurley would have done a good job. I think his offensive philosophies translate to an NBA level. I think the way he is just as far as tactician goes, I feel like, him as like that general that's really good at the exit. He's excellent with preparation. He is like maniacal when it comes to like the game and the understanding. I do think he would have translated well, but it was a big risk regardless. And if the Lakers gave him, 10 years, $150 million, and that let him take it. What happens if 3 years in, 4 years in, 5 years in, right? Maybe even, let's say 6 years in. It's a disaster and it doesn't work. And he is just another college coach that can't translate to the NBA level. The Lakers would still have to pay him $100 million to what? Let go of him and then go. It's a risk. There has to be a level of give and take there, which is why I didn't believe Dan Hurley was ever going to come, right? Because the dollar amount that it probably would have taken to get Dan Hurley with LA taxes and the lifestyle change and him leaving the organization and like all the things that he would have had to walk away from, I think it would have taken probably 17 to 20 million a year, right? Like easily. I mean, you had people like, like Broussard and stuff like that saying like, they're probably going to have to offer him at least 15 plus million a year, right? Like, and sure, like if the Lakers wanted to do that, but to me, it's like, would he have taken a shorter deal, like 5 years, 15 million a year, right? Something like that, 5 years, whatever, 70 or something, right? Like to where he's getting 15 million a year. If that would have been something, then I would have been like, okay, fine. Because again, it still would have been a bit of a gamble. It still would have been a bit of a risk, right? And if it doesn't work, now you're stuck, right? Like, what are you going to do? And so to me, it's just like, but more than anything, it's just frustrating to listen to the guy go, oh, like, yeah, obviously money would have changed it, but I don't know what that number is. So like you didn't have an idea, you didn't know what you wanted or what it would take for you to leave. You didn't have any idea. You just went into that. So to me, that means you went into that not in good faith. You went into the Lakers interview without having a real grasp of what you are expecting, of what you are looking for, that you can then relay to the Lakers to see if they're willing to match it or not, right? Worst thing that happens is the Lakers say, no, it's too rich for our blood. Best case scenario, you get it, right? If he goes in there and he's like, hey, I want, 10 years, 200 million, right? Like that's what it'll take for me to go. Well, then that puts everything into the Lakers' hands, right? Okay, you either say, okay, fine, we'll give you that, or you say, no, we'll give you 10 years, 15 million. Right, or whatever, and then you weigh that odds. To me, based on Dan's words, it sounds like he went in there as just like, let's just listen, which is fine, but say that. I said in a video that I believe that that's what Dan was doing. That I believe what this is, I compared it to, and I said, like, hey, imagine you are happy and you're comfortable at your job, right? Getting paid pretty good, right? You like the people you work with. You're comfortable, right? But this job opportunity opens up, right? Are you going to just say, no, like I'm good, I'm not going to. No, you're going to go and at least listen, right? Because what if that's better, right? What if that's a better opportunity? Yeah, you're comfortable. Yeah, you're happy. Yeah, you're in a good place. So the you don't have this urgency to leave. You don't have this urgency to like, I needed to upgrade or whatever. But you're still going to at least listen, right? And then you have that dialogue. You have that back and forth. We're willing to give this. Sorry, that's just not enough for me to, leave my current situation. I appreciate the offer, but okay, well, what would it take? Well, I probably want something around, whatever, 50 an hour, whatever, right? Using the analogy. Okay. Yeah. Well, sorry, that's a little too rich for us. Okay. No problem. Appreciate you. Or they say, sure. Yeah, we could do that. Or maybe we could, go down. I've been in interviews in my life. I've negotiated salary. I've negotiated even an hourly contract or hourly, job where it's like, we'll pay you, 12 an hour. And I'm like, sorry, like it would take at least, 17 or 20. It's like, we can't give you 20, but we can give you 18. Like, sure. Like, yeah, that works, right? Like, that's part of it. That's the art of conversation, of interviewing, of discussing. You know, like one of the big questions you ask, like, what does this pay? Right? Oh, it pays this. Sorry, that's not going to cut it. Where I'm at right now, I'm making more, or, you know, I'm making the same, or I'm in a position, like I'm about to get a promotion, right? So, you know, I'm actually going to make X amount of money. I need you to at least, you know, I have seniority, I have all these factors that I need to factor in to my salary, right? And then that puts it in their court to go, okay, well, sorry, that's too much, or okay, yeah, we'll do that because we do want you. Right? To me, it just feels like Dan didn't do that. Like he just listened and was like, "Oh yeah, that's cool, right? That's cool. Oh yeah, no, okay, cool. I'll tell you what, I'll think it over, right?" Like, and I feel like there was no dialogue. There was no, "This is what it would take. This is what I need. This is how it." It just felt. It just feels based on what he said. Like, oh, it's not a leverage play. Okay, still feels that way, right? It does. It feels that way. It feels like, you know, because again, if it wasn't a leverage play, wouldn't, and you really are that interested in the job, wouldn't you at least have the dialogue and at least give the courtesy of like, hey, this is what I'm looking for. Right? This is my idea. You know, throw out a crazy number. Worst thing they say is like, we can't do that, but we'll give you 20. You know, like, I want 25 million a year. Right? Yeah, we can't give you 25 million, but you know, maybe we give you 15. It's not enough, right? You know, maybe 20. Maybe I'll do 20. We can't do 20, but tell you what, we'll give you 18, right? Like, or we'll give you more years or whatever, right? We'll give you 15, but we'll give you 15 years rather than 10 or something, right? Like, whatever. You have that back and forth. And the fact that didn't happen and Dan Hurley says he didn't even know what the number was, like, to me, you didn't go into that negotiation in good faith. And now you're just, to me, it just sounds like you're just talking. That's my opinion. And as always, I pass a question on you. Let me know yours down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think like, you know, like, no, like Dan, you know, he went into this in good faith. He just, you know, the Lakers just didn't blow him away. But again, even if the Lakers didn't blow him away, they offered him the 6th highest paid coaching, and they offered him more money than he just signed with Uconn. Yes, I know with taxes and all that stuff would have been different, but again, he would have been the 6th highest paid head coach. All the coaches making more money than him outside of Monty Williams, who he went to an NBA Finals, have all been championship-proven coaches. You're talking Pop, Kerr, Spo, like all these guys have won. Ty Lue, right? Like, they've all won championships. They're all proven. The only people that would have been paid more than you are all the people that are proven, right? That have won a championship. And that doesn't mean that you wouldn't have gotten a back. If you're that confident in yourself and you're that confident in you being able to turn the Lakers organization around, take the 11, tell you what, I'll sign, instead of 6 years, right? I'll sign 4 years at that price. And then when we get through this and I prove myself, then I want a real bag. I want 20 million a year. I want to be the highest paid coach in the NBA. Right? Bet on yourself, right? You're that confident. Let's go, right? Like, it's just, there were options on the table and he just ignored all of them is my problem. But anyway, again, love to hear your thoughts and opinions. However you feel, let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot so we enjoy these types of videos and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.